Hi everyone, thank you. Thanks for watching. In this video, I want to talk about my experience with measuring software delivery performance or effectiveness. And I had used various tools in the past, and some of them uh, were very easy to use, very effective. Some of them were not. So I wanted to share my thoughts on the tools that I had used and one particular metrics group of metrics that had worked for me. So in the past, I had used DORA metrics. So I would measure things like deployment frequency, change failure rate, lead time for changes, also JIRA metrics like pod velocity, sprint feature, epic burn down. So all these are good metrics, but it did not give me a window into identifying areas where we can improve team performance or effectiveness of delivery of the value to the business. I was also looking for I was also looking for a tool which would help me measure and will help me deliver more predictable timeline for delivering value. And I also wanted an objective metric group where I can visibly showcase the distribution or the mix of the features and things that the team was working on, so that we can ensure there is alignment with the work on the team value delivery and the team with the enterprise and department goals and objectives. And so then I had been using this flow metrics for past few years, and I found those to be very effective. The DORA metrics definitely useful as starter metrics, but flow metrics really brings the measurement to a whole other level, and it helps you kind of gives you tools on how to improve, how to make the team more effective, to be more in alignment with business value. This was developed by Dr. Mik Kersten as part of his flow framework, and I found it to be more useful. And I've been using this for past few years, so I thought I'll just share my thoughts on it. So flow metrics consist of five major metrics. The first one is the flow velocity. So flow velocity is the number of business value items that are delivered in a specific period. It could be a sprint, it could be a PI, it could be for a team, it could be for a release train, it could be for a department, it could be for a portfolio enterprise. So flow velocity is just that number of value items delivered in a period. Then the next one is flow efficiency. So this one highlights the wait time that is involved in the value delivery chain along your software delivery cycle, and it kind of highlights the areas where you can improve on to make it more efficient. So it is effective time versus overall time. So that is flow efficiency. And then the third one is flow time. So this is the measurement which measures the time to deliver a business value item from start to finish. And then you can determine which would be your starting point for flow time and the finishing point. And then you can consistently measure and then use as a metric to identify flow time. And this will also help you predict or forecast the flow time for any future work that may come your way. So that is the third one. The fourth one is flow load. So it is the number of items that are currently being worked on concurrently by the team, and it kind of gives you a sense of work in progress by the team. And you want to have just the right number of work in progress items. You don't want too many, you don't want too few. So you want to have right balance of the work in progress, or right amount of flow load. So that is that metric. And then the last is flow distribution. So flow distribution highlights the type of features being worked by the team. And so in terms of it could be new features being developed, the detect that, the keep the lights on work being worked on, the bug fixes. So it kind of gives you distribution of the work that is done by the team, and it kind of highlights where the team is spending their time. And it gives you food for thought on if there is an alignment needed on the mix of features that you are working on for the health of the product that you are developing, health of the portfolio, health of the business that you are delivering value to. So we'll deep dive into each of this, and so stay tuned. So let's talk about the first metric, the flow velocity. Now, flow velocity, as we looked at, it's the number of value items delivered in a period. So it could be a sprint or a PI or a fixed quarter. 6 months, a whole year, so things like that. So flow velocity is in this as depicted in the diagram, thanks to planview.com. So as depicted here, there were 12 items that were completed in this period. So the flow velocity was 12. Now, it would be good if you are able to visually showcase your metrics, because that it's easily digestible by the leadership, by the team, and so you can easily see what the velocity was for that particular period, and then you want to measure that velocity and display it over a series of periods so that you can see the progression of the fluctuation in the flow velocity. So that will be a useful metrics for you to use for prediction. The next metrics was flow efficiency. So flow efficiency kind of highlights the idle time that is existing in your value delivery chain. So this diagram shows that as you build the product, you go through the design phase, you do development, you do testing and deploy. So during all of this, there are different wait times, and it's very hard to measure those wait times. But if you are able to measure them effectively, then you will be able to figure out this flow efficiency very quickly, and this will help you kind of identify the trouble spots or identify the areas where there is biggest bang for your buck, and that will showcase or highlight the areas where you want to focus your efforts on improving or reducing that wait time and improve your efficiency. So this highlights the efficiency of your delivery value chain delivery cycle, and kind of helps you be aware of what that is, and kind of if you measure it over multiple periods, then you can say if you are going in the right direction, and you can tweak the things that you are doing to improve some of those things. And then the next one is flow time. So this is the time that you measure from start to finish in delivering a business value item. So you figure out where that starting point is and where your ending point is, and then to be consistent and constantly measure it as you deliver different features to business. And this also can be used for predicting how much it will take for a new feature to develop, and this will help you with more objective predictability of your forecast for building time for building new features. So in this case, we can see that the flow time was 30 days. And it's helpful to see all this data visually. Now this for one period, but you want to measure it over multiple periods and kind of see where you land at, what the average is. And you want to apply some qualitative measure when you are forecasting that in terms of uncertainty about your product capabilities needed, things like that. And you can kind of use this as a starting point for your future forecast. So flow time is the time that is needed right from start all the way to the delivery of that value feature to the business. The next metric that we'll talk about is the flow load. So it is flow load is the number of items that is currently being worked by the team. So it is kind of gives idea about work in progress. Now this flow load is 30 items, which kind of very high for an agile team. But if there's a release train, then this could be the realistic amount of things that are worked on. I still feel it is high. Could be for portfolio. This images I've taken from planview.com. So very good website for all this flow metrics if you wanted to use. So check it out. Flow load gives you the amount of work in progress that you have. And you want to have right balance of work in progress. You don't want to have too less, and you don't want to have too much, because context switching does have cost to it, and so that the cost is real. And so you want your developers and the development team to be focused on delivering, working on a feature that is the right priority, and team to be working on the right feature and focused on those small sets of items, versus kind of having multiple items where they have to constantly context switch. You also don't want to completely allocate your team capacity to work items. You may want to only allocate maybe 80%. Sometimes if there is time crunch, maybe 90%. If there is no unplanned work coming your way, but I would still try to target 80% so that it allows for some leeway when there's unplanned work or unknown dependencies that may show up. Maybe that's a topic for future video when I'll talk about how to make work. So there's a good book that I read on it. It is Making Work Visible by Dominica de Grandes. And so that one really highlights what the time thieves can be and how you can work on some of those, is how you can make them visible and then tackle those. But that's a topic for another video another day. So and then the last metric that I want to talk about is the flow distribution. So flow distribution is the mix of business value features that are being worked on and that are delivered. So this diagram depicts, so here based on the color legend, so here 25% are features, 43% is defects. You don't want it to be that way. You want to work more on features. You want to build in quality on the left. You want to build better quality product, starting with the design, starting more earlier in the development cycle rather than the late in the game. So you want your team to experiment. You want them to fail fast and fail small. So you want to have the right mix of the features that the team works on, and then you want to highlight it for the leadership, for the business leadership as well, just to ensure that there is alignment between the business and the technology delivery team, so that there is no misalignment or there is no what you call there is no mismatch of expectations, and there is a more collaborative culture between the business and technology team. So if you use this metrics to kind of showcase the things that you're working on and then adjust based on the business needs, as well as convince or build trust with business, so that they allow you to do some of the tech that work. And so this kind of metrics will highlight that the work that the team is doing on it. Will also highlight, it will also bring the discussion on some of the things that the technology team needs to work on to keep the lights on. So this, I feel, is also one of the important metrics for you to be able to showcase where the team effort is on and where it should be in the future, and what could be some of the challenges in keeping it that way. So these are these are 5 flow metrics that I've used in the past few years. Very effective, especially if you are able to showcase it visually, and if you are able to show the progression of these over past few periods, then it can really unlock some of the areas for you as a leader to work on with the team to kind of improve and improve on some of those metrics to deliver the real business value. So this was something that I wanted to share. I hope you find it useful, but if there are comments, suggestions, feedback, please feel free to share those with me. Thank you. Thanks again. Thanks for watching.